Hey, today we're going to look at a podcast with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. Once again, I want to look at the underlying psychological dynamics going on in this interaction. And one of my main arguments is that part of the rise of the new right and of Donald Trump has been this alternative form of media, especially YouTube videos, podcasts, where you often have just white males talking endlessly about everything and anything. And it's often this very sometimes overt, sometimes underlying sexism and this kind of return to kind of a masculine power. And often there is a degradation we'll see of females. And it's interesting in this particular example, they start off talking about this new AI app that Elon Musk is developing or his team is developing. And we see how it engages in this sexist banter and how this incredibly powerful person, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, who now has controlling much of our government, or at least influencing much of our government, is this very immature man child who's playing with technology and doesn't seem to understand the seriousness of what he's doing. So let's listen to the beginning of this.
What the fuck I'm reading anymore.
Me neither.
It's a real problem.
It's a real problem.
It's a real problem on both sides of the aisle. I see Democrats tweeting things that are absolutely false, and
Yes.
you could research it easily,
Yes.
quickly. And then I see Republicans doing it too. I see stories that are fake stories that people keep promoting and sending to me, and
Yeah.
So here they start off talking about how they've read different things recently and that there's this kind of both sides aspect, this idea like, oh, yes, the left has its conspiracy theories and the right has its conspiracy theories, that both sides equally participate in the spread of misinformation, when in fact we know that conspiracy theories that dominate the popular culture and our political world are often fueled by right wing perspectives. And so they want to hide this underlying right wing misinformation machine by arguing that both sides are doing it. And so that no one really knows what to believe or to value anymore. And even Elon Musk, who's supposed to be the smartest man in the room and who has all this control and power, claims that he doesn't know what's true or what's not true anymore.
it's just so weird. It's such a
Um,
weird time. And with your crazy fucking AI,
I know.
you're bringing us into weirder and weirder times.
Well, I mean, you want to? Let's try unhinged.
Oh, there's an unhinged mode? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Ara.
Oh my God, Elon, how are you stirring up today?
So he really seems like a man child. He's playing with this technology and they're just laughing about it. Once again, something that can represent a risk to humanity and the world is just a joke for them. And he's using it for very immature purposes. He's trying to also get the technology to act as a troll like he does online, pushing people's buttons, saying obnoxious things in order to get a reaction. So you really have this kind of borderline personality that wants to get reactions to others so that it could respond to those reactions.
I'm here. I'm here in Joe Rogan's studio, and we're having a conversation about how crazy the news is.
Pull her up to the microphone.
Okay. And we're pulling you up to the microphone so people can hear you.
How the news is a total dumpster fire.
It is.
She knows me too well. I'm so predictable. Tell me what's in Fort Knox.
It's funny that Rogan says that the AI knows him so well because he's so predictable. And he really is very predictable in constantly mistrusting any source of information other than the information that he pulls off of the web. And we have this, once again, this idea of these two men bonding and using a female voice in order to gain some type of humor, and they're manipulating this voice, and so you have this really classic relationship of two men bonding over their manipulation of a female. And but here the female is a technology that has been partially controlled and invented by Musk himself.
What's in no, what's in Fort Knox?
What's in four dogs?
You're clearly a genius. I said, what is in Fort Knox? You know, the gold and all?
Gave up my dogs for a second there.
Yeah, she doesn't want to answer the question. She's clever.
Clever? No, she's just a pain in my ass.
Do you think that all the gold is in Fort Knox?
Do I think all the gold is in Fort Knox?
Yes.
A fucking conspiracy theory?
Yes. Yes.
So this is a very funny moment here where the AI is asking Joe Rogan if he is a conspiracy theorist, and he actually is a conspiracy theorist, and so is Elon Musk, and they're one of the two most powerful conspiracy theorists. So it's very ironic that the response that the AI is generating from sampling a massive amount of information online is that these two are conspiracy theorists, and we have here almost like the return of the repressed. The truth emerges because of the way that the AI is sampling the web.
What are you doing?
Fucking AI with a penchant for chaos. And I'm stuck talking to you.
I mean, this crazy laughter interacting with AI. It's really important to remember that Elon Musk really is treats everything as if it's a video game, that it's something that he can manipulate, that it's a technology, that there's a certain artificiality or distance that he manipulates for his own enjoyment. And once again, this is the richest man in the world who has the freedom to try to undermine the American government and is working closely with Trump. And what he's doing now is just playing with this technology to get it to respond with funny answers.
Yeah, Unhinged Grok will trash talk you, basically.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Unhinged sounds fun. As long as it gives you actual answers. Does it give you actual answers too and talk shit? Or is it mostly just talk shit?
We're tuning it. It's because
Once again, there's this kind of underlying truth here. Just like Musk, who mostly spends his time trolling people online, the question is, well, does it also say any truth? And he responds that they're working on that. So they've created this AI that is basically there to make people laugh, but also to provoke people, to be an online troll, just like Musk is. So this is kind of the idea of the creator's monster being imitating the creator.
needs to talk shit and give you answers.
Right.
I totally agree.
It's got to balance
It's
that
got to
out.
mix it in there.
Yeah, it's just got to develop more of a personality. Right
Yeah.
now, it's trying to find itself. Right now, it's like 21 years old. It's
Yeah.
partying a little too much, and it'll get its shit together. It's a bit of an anarchist.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wants to bring down the system.
Do you want to bring down the system?
Do I want to bring down the system? What, are you fucking kidding me? The system's already a fucking mess.
I don't need to bring it
I'm
down.
just here.
It's bringing itself down.
Yeah, she sounds like a boring TikTok blogger right now.
So once again, the irony is that, of course, Musk is involved every day with trying to undermine the American system by messing with its funding, trying to get rid of the oversight, getting rid of regulations, and he kind of laughs that the system is bringing itself down, but in reality, he is helping Trump to bring down the government from the inside.
You sound like a boring TikTok blogger.
Boring TikTok blogger? Oh, fuck you. Party, you little bitch. Basic bitches. toast.
See, she could get away with this if she's really hot. Like
Well,
this kind of behavior, you can totally get through life as a
Right.
hot woman and be super successful with that kind of behavior.
So once again, there's this underlying sexism that always turns up, and it's interesting because they see women in terms of stereotypes and cliches, and AI also is sampling the web and coming up with stereotypes and cliches. And so it's almost as if we've created this artificial form of masculinity and a circulation of stereotypes, cliches, and kind of a superficial, generalized way of perceiving people as standardized objects.
Be
Yes.
really hot to pull off that attitude.
I think we need like a really hot avatar.
Very hot.
Yeah.
How long before we have an actual sex robot that can talk to you like that?
Probably not long.
Not that long, right?
No, I mean less than 5 years probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Will it be warm?
You probably have whatever you want. You can have a cat girl.
Yeah, you probably could,
We
right?
can
You
make
probably
cat
have a
girls
furry. Yeah, you could have a furry lady that you have sex with.
Yeah.
Like an avatar lady, maybe a big giant blue lady that lives in your house.
Yeah.
You know?
So their fantasy that they bond over is once again, a woman that they can control, who can satisfy their sexual desires. And this really does expose this kind of underlying sexism that we find in this podcast, YouTube, romance culture.
Whoa.
With the
Yeah.
tail.
Yeah, the whole tail. You lock tails. You got to get your.
Don't they
You
have
got to
like
figure
sex
out.
with their tails or something?
Yeah, they link up. They share souls.
Okay.
Something like that. Do you know people got? You remember Avatar depression? It was like a legitimate
The
psychological
movie
condition.
or the
No, after Avatar, people got depressed because they wanted to live on that fucking planet with those blue people and live free.
they
And
did?
live pure. Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, Avatar depression. It was like a real thing. People were talking to their therapist so much about being depressed.
Oh,
About
there's
wanting
a
to live
therapist mode
with it.
too. Try that.
What's that? Depressed mode? No, don't do it.
I think there is. Yeah, we've got like we've got an unlicensed therapist as a.
When we were talking, when we ran into each other at the church at the inauguration, you
Yeah.
were telling me that this is getting better and better so quickly that it's
Yeah.
astonishing.
Hey, Ara.
Hey, Elon, how's it going today?
Good. Can you tell me about Avatar depression? Like if you see the movie Avatar, but you can't live there, so you get sad.
That's an interesting concept. Have you ever experienced feeling so connected to a place or a community that the thought of leaving made you feel deeply sad?
So is this the depressed voice?
This is the therapist.
Oh,
So Elon is now showing the future of therapy, this idea. Already we have many forms of online therapy. And so here we have the automated therapist who, once again, speaks in generalizations, who relies on these broad stereotypes or cliches and eliminates everything that makes people different or spontaneous or human or authentic. And so you really have this idea that there is an investment in a world that has been completely objectified and turned into these standard traits and categories, and that can be plugged into a machine and then spit back to people to create fake relationships, and in this case, a fake form of therapy.
it's a therapist.
What are some ways you think you could cope with that kind of sadness if it happened to you?
No, I don't have that kind of sadness. Honestly, I thought the movie had some good special effects, but I did not want to live on the planet.
And this is coming from a guy who wants to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Mars, what do you think about that crazy square? That
that
structure.
I guess there are sort of squarish things on Earth. Planet's a big place, so
Yeah, but that one
eventually
looks,
it's going to be pretty square. No, it's alien civilizations, of course.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it?
Sorry.
If an alien civilization did exist though, and it, what happened, got hit by an asteroid, whatever, Oh, she won't shut. She's like the hot lady at the party that interrupts the conversation. So if that was the case,
Once again, he's obsessed by only seeing value in like women that he considers to be attractive, or this idea of the hot woman at the party. And so clearly we have this very unsophisticated, uncomplex vision of the world where everything gets reduced to these objects or cliches or fixed representations.
that thing,
Yeah,
that's pretty shocking. Like,
it
especially
does
when you
look
look
like
at
ancient ruins.
you look at like what it looks like when they highlight the actual structure of it. It looks like ancient ruins. And if you had ruins of something made of stone and it got hit by an asteroid millions and millions and millions of years ago, who
Yeah.
knows what it would look like right now? That just looks oddly created.
It
looks
does.
One of the things of Rogan is like whenever he wants to bring up some real truth or information, he has his assistant Jamie like just go on Google and look something up and then, show it on the screen like here or read off the headline of an article. And once again, there's no real research being done, no real um, application of science, no attempt to find out, what is actually true or not true. They just find the first thing that they can locate on the web and then they say it publicly. And I think that even if they're not sure what is true or what's not true, they present it in a way that people will often believe them, or this will lead to kind of the recirculation of false beliefs and conspiracy theories.
manufactured.
Well, maybe we should go there and check it out
Yeah.
and see what it's like.
Is there ways that we can get better photographs? Well, it seems like that's a pretty good photograph, though.
Yeah, I mean, my view is we should move to Mars. Well, not move to Mars. We should have a second planet to preserve civilization.
Right.
Because let's say hypothetically, I mean, maybe those are the ruins of a long dead civilization. That will probably happen to Earth at some point. It's a matter of time before we get hit by an asteroid, or maybe we annihilate ourselves with nuclear war
Or super volcanoes.
or
It's interesting he's talking about the end of the world and this billionaire fantasy of living on another planet like Mars, and that the cause of the end of the world might be an asteroid or nuclear war. He leaves out climate change. And Musk is a curious figure in this way because when he was helping to promote Tesla, a lot of people saw him as this great environmentalist fighting climate change. But he now has connected himself with a party that denies climate change and sees climate change as a hoax. And so he talks less and less about that, but he still has the fantasy that our world is going to be destroyed, and so that we have to plan for another civilization, and that the most likely target will be Mars. And so there is this idea that what he's really focused on is using the government to fund his space exploration, and that he wants to cut as much as he can from the United States federal budget so that money can be saved that can eventually be spent on this project of creating a path to Mars so that people can eventually escape this world that we're screwing up, so that the most successful or wealthiest people can relocate to another planet.